Welcome to A Drink of Wisdom with Nathan Drinkard. I'm Jay Wise. Thanks for spending some of your time with us. As a reminder to all the listeners, we're on Anchor, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify. If you're looking for us in the video format, you can find us at the A Drink of Wisdom YouTube channel. Check us out on all those locations. Drink, as always, great to have you along.
Hey, man, and great to be here, man. Feeling fabulous. How everything with you?
It's great, man. It's great. Can't wait to get it going here.
All right, well, let's get it going. We're running a little behind, so you know what it is. Another day, another dollar. We're going to give the streets what they need. We see what they don't. Oh, and we're going to say what they want. Set your plates. It's time to eat. And last but not least, let's talk some sports, baby. Let's roll, Jay.
All right, this is episode 2 of season 3, where we will preview the rest of week 1 in the NFL. The Big 12 extends some invites, and we look ahead to the weekend in college football. But you know, we're starting NFL opening night last night, where the defending champion defending Super Bowl champion, Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeat the Dallas Cowboys 31-29. Tom Brady completed a 24-yard pass to Chris Godwin to set up the game-winning kick from Ryan Suckup, and the Bucs off to a good 1-0 start. Tom Brady threw for 379 yards and 4 touchdowns. Big games for Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, and Rob Gronkowski. Dak Prescott, he looked good in his first action since, week 5 of last season. He threw for just over 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. Big games receiving for Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. Drink, let's start with this question, and go ahead, feel free to move wherever from here. Was that a push-off by Chris Godwin on that, I will call it the catch that set up the game-winning field goal?
Yes, it was. I thought it was offensive pass interference. But, hey, it ain't a penalty if it don't get caught. Listen, I understand Dallas' frustrations. This wasn't the Super Bowl, but, hey, you know what I'm saying? You get them how you get them. And, you know, you wake up this morning, you got a lot of Cowboys fans. They got to call that. They got to call that. Well, listen, every team say they got to call something. You know, as egregious as it is, Saints fans are still complaining about calls not getting called. So, you know, it's part of the game. Missed calls are part of the game, just like injuries are part of the game. You know, just like, you know, turnovers are part of the game, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But to answer that question, yes, I did think that was an offense pass interference. Now, to everything else last night, listen, I would be disrespectful if I didn't, you know, give the Cowboys some flowers. Listen, I thought this game was going to be a young snub show. I thought you could go ahead and put them in the flat line, 6 feet deep in the grave. We got a plot ready for them. Like, I honestly, I thought the Cowboys were going to be done. I came away pretty impressed with a number of things, just like you. It was some things that was bad, with some things that wasn't so good, but I thought Dak Prescott was a positive. I thought Ezekiel Elliott was a negative. I thought the tackles for the Cowboys was a positive. I thought the rest of the line could have been, you know, somewhat of a negative. I thought CeeDee Lamb sometimes was a positive. Other times I thought he was a negative. Amari Cooper was definitely a positive. And shall I say, I don't know about you, Jay, but when I looked at Amari Cooper last night, I didn't think he was running these routes with, you know, precision and crisp and speed. But clearly he was doing enough to get himself open where Dak was able to find him. But I wasn't like looking at Amari Cooper like, man, he's looking crispy out there. Those routes are just top notch. I don't know, maybe it was just me.
Yeah, I want to say his second route, his second touchdown catch, it was, I guess it was a corner route, but it wasn't sharp at all. It was just like, oh, I'm just gonna run over here and I'm better than you, and touchdown. You know, like, yeah, I think I'm with you on that.
Yeah, so it kind of caught me by surprise why he was so open, but we know other things transpired. Another thing you brought up, I must say, on the defensive side of the ball, you know, the defense did look better. But like you said, we noticed that the rookie Michael Parsons, shall I say, seemed to be the leader of the defense in his rookie year. He had the green dot. Everybody know the green dot is the symbol that this player is the player that talks, you know, to the coach, the defensive coordinator in the booth. I thought that was quite odd, being that it's a couple other linebackers that have been doing this for a little while, and that's the guy that's calling signals. Take that for what it's worth, I guess. But then I'm looking at some of these other guys, that defensive line, the Randy Gregory's, listen, DeMarcus Lawrence. Listen, I know DeMarcus Lawrence forced the fumble. Gregory recovered it. For what it's worth, Gregory, I think they're getting their money's worth with you, because I don't quite know what's going on with you. You play 1 year, you don't play. You go. I mean, now marijuana is somewhat legal in the NFL, so I guess they say, go ahead and get him in here. But DeMarcus Lawrence, what? I mean, kudos to Dak and Elliott. I mean, not Elliott. Kudos to Dak and Cooper. They was the only two dudes that got paid that still was playing like, hey, we're glad you paid us. Because I don't know what in the world was going on with Zeke. I'm not overly impressed with Lawrence. But like I said, I did give the flowers to the tackles. I thought Tyron Smith and Lyle Collins, I thought that duo was doing pretty well against the defending Super Bowl champs. And then over to the Bucs right quick. Look, here's the deal. Young GOAT Brady, 43 years old. He was still out there dropping them young dimes, but you could tell that the age is slowly but surely catching up with him. Listen, I heard Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels, they in that thing. Oh man, dare I say that 43-year-old Tom Brady is just as good as 24-year-old Tom Brady? Hey Chris, I like your commentating, but you need to knock it off, man. I don't know what are you doing? Like, some of this stuff you saying is just taking it over. Like I don't give a. What world is a 43-year-old Tom Brady better than 24-year-old Tom Brady? Like, you can do so much more when you're 24. So much more. You can take so many more hits. You can make so many more riskier plays that could result in a win. Like, listen, I know a couple of, centipedes that can move in the pocket better than Tom Brady right now. Don't give me that 43, dare I say. Like, I didn't like that. I didn't particularly like that. But for what it's worth, Tom Brady did his thing. He came out the winning quarterback. Leonard Fournette. Can I get a Leonard Fournette sighting? 9 carries, 32 yards. This dude was taken 4th overall and was supposed to be the best thing coming out of the state of Louisiana. What we doing? Okay, whatever. Turn back those clocks for my boy Antonio Brown. You seen him now. 5 catches for 121 yards. Hey, this is what you get when you ain't acting a fool out of Antonio Brown. When he actually focused on playing football, he showed that he's still one of the better receivers in today's game. I thought he was phenomenal. Kudos to him. I just like hearing something other than tomfoolery out of Antonio Brown. So I was happy with that. Chris Godwin, we seen what he did. Evans was pretty disappointing. I'm not gonna jump on that too bad, but that's not it, Evans. They over here talking about, see, he had 7 straight 1,000-yard seasons. Well, he's getting off to a rocket start in this one. Let's do a little more, Evans. Gronk, you seen it. I seen a dime in the first quarter. Oh my God, that dime, I was like, what? I don't know if 24-year-old Tom Brady could have made that, but let me tell you, that thing was pretty. He tipped it over, he dropped it over to Gronk over like 2 defenders. It was a thing of beauty. I really enjoyed watching that. And we know the defense, what they brought to the table. But in a nutshell, one thing I wanted to say, about the game itself was, and like I said, I heard this through the grapevine. I really wish the Bucs wouldn't have blitzed Prescott so much and really made him throw the ball and really made him pinpoint the ball and just made him play against more of coverage. Either let him run where he can risk getting hit or make him throw against coverage. I think the Bucs could have had more success if they had played that way. The blitzing thing just didn't work. I mean, Dak Prescott is a pretty tall quarterback. So when they blitzed and when he had confidence that his line can hold up, he picked them apart. That's just what it was. He kind of had his day. And I don't want to jump on the Zeke point too much because I know you got some stuff you want to say about the Zeke Elliott, but they have to use him more. And another thing is this: if first of all, the Bucks played a very, very sloppy game. We do know this, right? Like, yeah, they won. I got it, but they had 4 turnovers. 4 turnovers. The Cowboys had 1. Now, if you would have asked me before the game which team gonna turn over the ball more, I would have said the Cowboys. But dare I say I would have been wrong, very, very wrong. Let's talk about time possession for a little bit. The Bucks had it for 25 minutes and 33 seconds, whereas the Cowboys had it for 34 minutes and 27 seconds. So the Cowboys won the time possession. So let's get this right. The Cowboys won the turnover battle and the time possession battle. Hold up, bring that back. You ain't say nothing about the penalties. Oh, let's go look at the penalties. So, Bucks 11 penalties for 106, Cowboys 8 penalties for 55. If I told you those 3 stats, you would most likely would you or would you not assume, Jay, that the Cowboys won this game?
Yes.
So I say the reason I bring all that up and not jump into is because, listen, people want to tell me, oh, Tom Brady, let me tell you something. He done fell off. Dak played the game of a lifetime. If you switch roles, I don't think the Cowboys win. I don't think the Cowboys still win the game with 4 turnovers. No. I don't think the Cowboys win the game with over 100 yards and penalties. I don't think the Cowboys win the game if the Bucks had almost 35 minutes of ball control and you switch that. So, listen, it's an odd game stat-wise. Yep. I do think the better team won. But at the end of the day, like, let's not get too crazy. Week 1, they shook off the rust. We got a fantastic game, by the way. Fantastic. NBC got them one there. Better than I thought it was going to be. But at the end of the day, I think there's just some of the context I wanted to throw out there that if you switch the stats for each team, I can't necessarily say the Cowboys win this game. You know? So kudos to the Bucks for being able to still win this game while being extra, extra sloppy.
Back to your original question. That was probably a push off. I wouldn't have called it though. I didn't think there was quite enough on that one. I mean, you brought up some of the things the Saints are probably upset about. The one where Nickel Roby-Coleman just like assaults Tommy Lee Lewis before the ball gets there. That was like the worst missed call of all time, but at least that I've seen.
Right.
I didn't think there was enough there. I mean, you see Godwin extend a little bit. If that's a penalty, there are gonna be a lot of penalties called this year, and I'd rather not. Like, so I thought it was a great throw on the back shoulder. Godwin extends a little bit. I don't know, like defensive back, like I don't know, toughen up, get stronger. I'm gonna say, I think if you wake up this morning in your both teams, you should feel pretty good. But if from Dallas's perspective, you open up the season on the road against the defending champs. Obviously, a lot of excitement in that stadium. You got the fans back in there, so a lot of juice coming through that stadium. You're also Dak Prescott, his first game since last week 5 of last season. So you got that. You're dealing with your Ezekiel Elliott called him their best offensive player. Zach Martin not playing due to COVID. So, I mean, from Dallas's perspective, for you to have a chance to win late in the game, and it took a Tom Brady drive to get him down there. I mean, I think you feel good about that. They mentioned on the broadcast quite a few times that Dallas isn't going to play another playoff team from last season until week 11. So you're going to have a lot of winnable games coming up. We know the division is just not impressive. I mean, the football team might be worth something, but I don't expect much from the Giants, and the Eagles are going to be I think they'll be really bad this year. So I mean, they put the Cowboys play in the worst division. So, and I think if that's the product, I mean that I think that product is good enough to win the division. And on Tampa Bay side, you get the win. Obviously, we feel good about that. But they they shot themselves in the foot a lot. You had, I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence makes a great play fairly early in the game. The old peanut punch on Ronald Jones. Um, so you have that, but you had Tom Brady throw an interception. Trayvon Diggs got him. The Hail Mary, I mean, I'm not worried about it. I'm not really counting that one. But then, late in the fourth quarter with, I believe it was 28-26 Tampa Bay, Chris Godwin fumbles the ball down near the goal line. Tampa Bay was on the way to scoring. It would have made it a 9-point game. So, I mean, things could have been a lot different. But yeah, when you look at turnovers, you look at penalties, Tampa Bay was much more sloppy. So to me, the takeaway, and this isn't anything that's surprising, Tampa Bay is clearly a superior team to Dallas. The game just looks close because Tampa Bay was way more sloppy than Dallas was. Statistically, you talk about it being an odd statistical game. The reason, if you do a quick statistical analysis, Dallas lost this game because they didn't execute situationally, particularly in the red zone, and Greg Zuerlein couldn't figure out how to kick. He missed an extra point, and then he misses a 31-yarder. So I mean, he ended up making. I mean, I think it was he ended up being 3 for 4 on field goals on the night. But 2 short misses that they hurt you. So I think from a statistical standpoint, that's why Dallas loses. But Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay plays with any type of discipline. I mean, Dallas got 5 first downs. Their offense got 5 first downs via Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive players committing penalties. And we also have to remember, no Jermaine Whitehead, one of their starting safeties. Then you have Mike Edwards cramping up. He was gone for a bit. And then the big one, Sean Murphy-Bunting, dislocates his elbow. And that means Ross Cockrell's got to enter the equation. And that's just something we like to avoid. So I think both teams should feel pretty good about how things turned out. I think so. One real positive for Tampa, for the league should be greatly concerned. This whole year 2 thing of Antonio Brown and Rob Gronkowski, yeah, that's a problem. You combine these 2 guys, they look like throwbacks. They look like they're about 5 years younger. And then you combine that with Chris Godwin looked great last night. Mike Evans, not so much. But those are 4 guys right there that can make it happen and can stack up against anything else anybody else can offer. So if that's and remember last year it was Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, AB, and Gronk were the clear 3 and 4. And last night it was a little bit reversed. AB and Gronk looked like the 1 and 2. I think the rest of the league should be concerned about that. For Dallas, there's a lot of positives for Dallas, but I'm gonna tell you, this whole thing where, we talked about this before the show. Maybe this is because the Cowboys coaching staff says we're not gonna be able to run the ball. I mean, you got Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh. We're not gonna be able to move them, so we're just gonna take the position that, look, our outside guys, talk about CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, they're better than what you can do in the secondary. So we're just going to play this game outside the numbers. If that's the plan, okay. But I hope it isn't something that we see the entire season, because Dak Prescott throwing the ball 58 times a game, you might win a division with that because the division is so bad, but you won't go very far. To me, my initial takeaway, and I don't want to just let this be the final verdict on this, but they must not think Ezekiel Elliott's very good. When you give the guy who the only back in football paid more money than Zeke is Christian McCaffrey, and ever since he signed that contract, they haven't used him like he's a top 5 back. That when Zeke signed the contract, that's when Kellen Moore became the offensive coordinator, and it's just been the air parade ever since. I really believe, and this goes to the defense too, which appears to be a little bit better. For this team to maximize what they can do, they're gonna have to go back to running the football first. And Zeke carrying the ball 11 times, it's just not enough. And in some ways, it's almost, it should be somewhat offensive to Zeke. What is the point of paying this guy all this money if you're not going to use him? And I got it. And obviously he can do other things. And I thought he did a really good job in pass protection, picking up some of these Bucs linebackers who like to blitz, like Devin White. But if that's the highlight reel you have from Zeke coming out this game, that's a problem. And I think, look, I think moving forward, I really hope that's just a one-time thing. But you got to be more balanced, because even though if that's your position, that we're completely superior to what Tampa Bay has on the outside, you're still letting the defense off the hook. Todd Bowles over there is like, well, they ain't gonna run the ball tonight. I guess we'll just blitz and do whatever we want to do. We don't have to worry about the run tonight, guys. They're not gonna do it. I think that's a problem. Part of a major advantage for offenses is the ability to run and pass and to keep defenses off balance. Dallas played a great game last night offensively in a lot of respects. And they did. Dak Prescott I thought he played a great game for the most part. But you're letting defenses off the hook. I don't think that's not a sustainable strategy moving forward.